Hey, what's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike here, and it is season 4 of award season reviews. We're counting down to the 98th Academy Awards in 98 days with 98 reviews. Quick reminder before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the awards. There's only a few left. Today, we are kicking off our 12th theme week, and it is Annie Week, in honor of the Annie Awards that occurred last night. This week, we're going to take a look at the animated films that have been on this journey this year. Some that are animated, some that are live action with animated components. And the first 3 I'm going to talk about are the 3 best animated feature nominees that I haven't yet covered this season. First up, G-Kids, Haute Court and Paradiso Filmed Entertainment's Little Amélie, or The Character of Rain. Written by a team including the film's co-directors Liane-Cho and Mailys Vallade, along with Ade P. and Eddie Noel, the film is based on the biographical novel by Amélie Nothomb. The film premiered at Cannes last May before releasing overseas in June and then having its awards qualifying run in the fall. Before I jump in, please note when I reference the actors for this film, I saw the dubbed version. That was what was available to me, so those are the performers I'll be referencing. Little Amélie follows a young Belgian girl growing up in Kobe, Japan, and the story begins in a rather unusual place. As a baby, Amélie, voiced by Lucille Ainsworth, exists almost when she's born in a vegetative state. Not speaking, observing the world around her, and believing based on her internal monologue and what she takes in, that she is something of a god with the adults and everybody else in her orbit. It isn't until an earthquake shakes her both physically and metaphorically that she begins to move and engage and fully enter the world around her, which alters the family dynamics forever. As she begins to explore language and memory and her surroundings, Amélie forms a deep connection with her Japanese nanny, Nishio-san, voiced by Francesca Callo. Though through small but some really meaningful moments, learning her first word, discovering koi in a garden pond, tracing the kanji for rain on a fogged window, her world slowly expands. Loss and absence shape her understanding of life when certain events with family members, both in Belgium and locally, have their impacts, which leaves Amélie to wrestle with ideas that she doesn't quite know how to comprehend them as best as she tries. And when outside tensions disrupt her bond with Nishio-san and the family prepares for another massive transition, Amélie is forced to, confront change, something she doesn't really want to do. You can see how happy she is in this poster. A moment of danger becomes a significant turning point, which forces her to kind of change the way she understands both herself and the family. Over the course of 3 formative years, the film charts a quiet but deeply personal journey toward, self-awareness and acceptance. This film, it's a really lovely 2D animated film that works with a color palette that's bright without ever being flashy. The pastel-y tones are softened almost storybook-like, but there's a warmth to that vibrancy that makes every frame feel very intentional. There are moments, particularly in the depictions of animals and slight fantastical touches, that feel very gently reminiscent of, kind of like watching a Miyazaki film. Though this film maintains its identity throughout, it's enough to set it apart, but there's flourishes. You can see the inspiration. What surprised me the most with this one was actually how layered the screenplay was. On the surface, it's a coming-of-age story. It looks at 3 years of a child's life in a very crisp 75 minutes. This film moves. But within it, it explores cultural exchange, post-war tension, grief, belonging, perception. The dynamic between Amélie and Nishio-san, it could have easily veered into a melodramatic range, especially given, Amélie's abilities to think she's godlike. But the film handles it in a really non-judgmental and smart way. It understands that children attach when they feel, seen, where they feel seen, and it allows the relationship to breathe naturally. And there's also something really fascinating about the perspective. The constant voiceover from Amélie in her early years gives her this almost comedic, hyper-aware look at the adult world. If you remember the Look Who's Talking films from the 80s, 90s with Kirstie Alley and Travolta, it's a little bit there. Not that this film is anywhere as extreme as those, but it's that shift. And the performances in the dubbed version, walk a very nice line that keep these characters, especially Amélie, endearing rather than over the top. Combined with the respectful attention to Japanese traditions and customs, this film ultimately really, it's a thoughtful meditation on, humanity and how much life can happen in 3 short years, even for a young child. Now, let's talk box office and awards. At the end of its run, the film made $171,333 domestically and $1,897,015 internationally, for a worldwide take of $2,068,348. Review-wise, this film is strong, with a 97% tomato meter from 77 critical reviews and a 90% popcorn meter from over 100 audience reviews. Now, award season-wise, in addition to the nomination for Best Animated Feature, an award is also nominated for at tonight's BAFTAs. It was nominated for 7 Annie Awards. It didn't win any. I mean, I don't really think anything can touch K-pop Demon Hunters this season, but it was nominated for Best Feature, Direction, Storyboarding, Writing, Character Animation, Editorial, and Music. It won the Audience Award for Best Feature at the Annecy Awards, and it was also nominated for Best Animated Feature at Cannes, where it premiered, Critics' Choice Awards, the Golden Globe Awards, the César Awards, and the Astra Film Awards. And there's almost another dozen wins and over 3 dozen additional nods that this film has received across various festivals and critic circles. So where do I land for this one? This film really delighted me, more than I thought it would. Simple yet layered, this film, well made, 4 stars. To watch this one, it is available for digital rental and purchase on most platforms. No streaming information at this time or physical discs available. All right. So that's the jump off for the new week. Thank you all for joining me for episode 77 of Award Season Review Season 4. We've only got 21 days left, so stay with me. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, drop your thoughts in the comments. You can follow me everywhere on social platforms, on Letterboxd, and of course, head over to cinephilemike.com for even more reviews and movie goodies. I'll be back tomorrow with the next review, but until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.